Now we're on page 16. So turn to page 16 if you haven't yet. These problems are really similar. We just have a new equation and it's just being asked in a different way. I'll start with 1A. If you start with 14 moles of C3H8 and 10 moles of O2, determine the theoretical numbers of H2O produced. So basically this is asking you to find the theoretical yield. And the theoretical yield is determined by the limiting reactant. So the theoretical yield is determined by limiting reactant. So the answer to the one that's the limiting reactant is going to be the theoretical yield. So I'm going to divide my paper in half again. And I see that I have 14 moles of C3H8. Oops. And I have 10 moles of O2. So I'm going to do moles of C3H8 at the bottom. That's what I'm trying to get out of. And for this, they want us to find the theoretical moles of H2O. So that goes at the top. So looking at my balanced equation, for every 1 mole of C3H8, I can make 4 moles of H2O. And again, I can make 4 moles of H2O. Oops, I should have written O2 here. Sorry, guys. I need 5 moles of O2. So I'm going to multiply across 14 times 4, which is, oh my God, doing this in my head, 56 moles of H2O, and 10 times 4, which is 40, divided by 5, which is 8 moles of H2O. So it looks like oxygen here is limiting. And so the answer here, 8 moles of H2O, is my theoretical yield. I cannot make more than 8 moles of H2O because after I make that, this will have run out. So the answer to the limiting reactant is your theoretical yield. So it's the same thing we were doing before, but this time they want to give an answer of a number and not just say which one is limiting, which is excess. So the answer to the one that's limiting is the theoretical yield. Let's try and do the next one. If a reaction has 5 moles of C3H8 and 30 moles of O2, determine the theoretical number of moles of CO2 produced. So again, start by writing what's given. And now we're going to do our ratio, but this time instead of H2O, we're going to do the ratio with CO2. So we got 1 to 3, and we have 3 to 5. So 5 times 3 is 15 moles of CO2. 30 times 3 is 90. Divided by 5 is 19 moles of CO2. So the one that made less is limiting, and it's also the answer for our theoretical yield. So our theoretical yield is 15 moles because that's less than 19. It's your job now to do the next set of problems. So why don't you turn off the video, and then after that, I will post the answers. So turn off the video while you're working on these, pause the video, and then press play when you're done and you can check your answers. So here are the answers to the last 2 problems. You can see in number 2 here, the answer was 4.9 moles of MgCl2. That one came out to be less. And in the number 3, it was 10 moles of H2O. You can see my work up here. and hopefully you've gotten this lesson and you're ready to work on those exit tickets.